So here we are again in your kitchen. This is my friend Jim Holtzman. And we are doing what we normally do, which is share a bottle of wine and catch up on life, on work, everything. And you're perfect to interview for TrepSess, because TrepSess is really about connecting entrepreneurs with success in a way of really honest advice and tips that they can use, and from real people who are in the day in and day out of it, that can provide them things that they probably can't get from Inc. magazine or Entrepreneur magazine or anything that they're reading. One of the really funny questions I've never asked you in all of these years that I've known you, 10 years, how your career got to this point, where you started, and how you really got into this world of being a CFO that helps and works and grows startups.
First of all, I'm an operating CFO, not a finance guy, which is very different. Mm-hmm. My background is, it started with a consulting project for MCI. And so, so I was working for a guy who became my mentor. His name was, I'll say it here, his name was Glenn Custer. He was in fact a full bull Marine Colonel, Colonel Glenn Custer.
I can deal with colonels, of course.
And he taught me a lot of things, sometimes the hard way. Mm-hmm. But so I did a consulting project for him. This was back in 1991. I walked up to him, and I was actually there. I was in a temporary position working with him, and I walked up to him and I said, you know what? I can clear your desks in your office. I can take you to a paperless office. And so I said, I think it'll cost, I don't know, $50,000. I'm going to need some help on consulting, and I'm going to help from the side of the programming and that sort of thing, but the rest of it I can help manage. He said, great, have at it. So I said, okay. I went, wow, it just worked. And so I went off and I did it. And I spent 3 months doing it. And then we took it out on the road to train everybody on how to use it. And it was a great success. We actually cleared the office of paper. Glenn went to work for a company called MFS Communications as its CFO. And I joined MFS. Well, there's a longer story to it, but I joined MFS literally like 1 week after he did, and because he brought me on, and I went to work for MFS I started as a business analyst, whatever that meant. Just he needed to get me in the door, so that was my title. Which, by the way, was a lesson, right? So I actually took a salary cut to go there. Title meant nothing. The title was bogus. It was meaningless. But it was a place I wanted to be, and it was a person I wanted to be under, and that was most important. So I went to work for Glenn. And at MFS, and I ultimately ran 5 or 6 units, and we grew from 20 million, which was the founding unit that I became a part of, to $1.5 billion in 6 years. My unit, that included acquisitions, included a lot of things, but my unit grew from 20 million, because it was the original unit, to 525 million organically in 6 years. So it was unbelievable. I'd love to say it. I start out, and I always catch myself before I say this. I say, you know what? That was the most fun I've ever had, but it's actually not true. So it was the most fun I'd had up till that moment. We sold to WorldCom for $14.5 billion after 5 years, and then I was around for another year before I left. And so I walked out of there going like, wow. Are they all like this? This is my first startup, right? Are they all like this? They're not all like that. Now, I've been immensely lucky in my career. So I'm in my 9th early stage business now. And so ignoring that one, so of the 8, I've had what I call 5 solid successes, 1 abject failure, and a couple of, 1 turnaround. So it was never expected to be a success. I came in as a turnaround. It was a turnaround already when I came in. Right. And then 1, what I consider a kind of a no decision. So, they all worked out okay. I'm lucky enough to have had a probably better success than a lot of people have had, because I play for singles, doubles, and triples. I don't shoot for the moon.